guys! Today I am doing the unpopular opinions tag. The first question is a popular book or series that you didn't like. I kind of have a couple of these, but I guess I'm going to go with Divergent on this one because I know that's a really sort of beloved series. And even if people didn't like the last book, they still love the series. I read through the whole thing and I kind of found the whole thing boring. Like, forget about the last book, but even the last book I thought was like really predictable. Maybe because I found the rest of the series boring, I just expected sort of like that kind of ending. I actually don't even have the series because I used to have the first book, and since I didn't like it, I got the other two books from the library and got rid of my first book, so I don't have any of those books anymore. The second question is a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate but that you love, and I'm going to go with Beautiful Creatures. I haven't read it in a while, but I really enjoyed it. I didn't like the movie, but as like a fluff read, I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the whole series a lot. I've seen a lot of people say they enjoyed the first book, but then the rest of the series they didn't like. I actually did like the rest of the series, and I like the spin-off series. I've been thinking about doing a reread, see maybe if my opinion has changed now, because I read it when I was much younger. So I'm thinking about doing a reread to see if my opinion is the same, but from what I remember, I really liked it. The third question is a love triangle where the main character ended up with the person you did not want them to end up with. Daisy and Tom and Gatsby in The Great Gatsby. The end of this book always frustrated me, and I've actually had this conversation with a couple people because we were talking about how much we love Gatsby, and then we were talking about all the things that frustrate us and that we hate about Gatsby, and both of us were thinking, why do we like Great Gatsby so much if we hate so much about it? But it's just a really powerful book. But the ending is really frustrating because if you've read it, spoiler alert, you know that Daisy does not choose Gatsby and ended up with Tom, and Gatsby ends up, dead. There was always this part of me that really wanted her to turn around and choose Gatsby. Although, to be honest, I thought Gatsby was too good for her. I can't stand Daisy. But Gatsby really wanted her to choose him, so I always really wanted her to just change her mind. The next question is a popular genre that you hardly reach for. And for this one, I'm going to go with contemporary romance or historical romance or anything like that. Paranormal romance I'll go for sometimes. I have to be kind of in a weird mood. I don't mind watching rom-coms, but for some reason I don't like reading contemporary romance. They're just very shallow to me, and I guess I need more of like a plot device, like we need to save the world. But I also don't mind coming of age contemporaries, so that can't totally be it. I'm not sure. I guess I just find them not as fun. Number 5 is a popular or beloved character you do not like. I hate PETA. I really hate PETA. I think he's whiny and he needs a backbone. Especially when it comes to Katniss. He lets her walk all over him. He needs a backbone. And I can't stand him. And I know everyone thinks he's so sweet and how Katniss was the terrible one, but he let her be terrible, which is part of the problem. Not a big fan of Gale either, to be honest. Or Katniss. I like the secondary characters in the Hunger Games better than the main characters, which is a little weird. The next one is a popular author you can't seem to get into. I'm going to go with Gregory Maguire. I don't know if he's that popular anymore. I know like for a while he was because of the Wicked trilogy. I love Alice retellings, which is why I read it even though I didn't love Wicked. And even though I love Alice retellings, I wasn't a huge fan of this one either. I find that he's a very slow writer, and I find myself pushing myself through his writing, which when you're reading for fun, you don't want to feel like you have to force yourself to read. The next one is a popular trope you're tired of seeing. Now, I think most of the tropes that I kind of got sick of have mostly sort of disappeared from the trends. One of them was the love triangle, which isn't really a thing as much anymore. It still pops up, but I guess some of them, maybe they're being done better. I don't know, but some of the old love triangles, like when I was younger and I was reading Twilight, which I don't like anymore, but that's a whole other thing. That love triangle to me was stupid. And like even when I was reading the book and people were like, Team Jacob, Team Edward, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like she said clearly from the beginning she did not want to. Anyway, I guess stupid love triangles are what I'm tired of seeing. I'm also kind of tired of seeing dumb protagonists, especially when they're female. Like this idea that like the protagonist will just sort of barge in and not even think about what they're doing, or they'll just sort of accept whatever is thrown at them, especially in the terms of like female protagonists and their relationships. How, again, this is kind of going by the wayside now, but for a while it was very popular. Like, again, Twilight, a lot of books that came out around the time of Twilight had this sort of thing about, had this sort of character development aspect of the female protagonist being almost a shell, not very deep, doesn't have a whole lot of development throughout the series, and things just sort of happen to her, and usually there's a guy that comes in and saves the day to some extent. I'm tired of seeing that. So if that could just disappear from literature, that'd be great. A popular series you have no interest in reading: Game of Thrones. I've actually tried. Before the show came out, actually, I think it was, I was told about it and I said, oh, that sounds really interesting. That sounds like something I'd really love. And I started reading it. And it's not the story or the characters. The characters and the story are really great, but it's Martin's writing style. It's just not for me. It's sort of like how I have trouble with certain aspects of Tolkien's writing style, and obviously I respect their craft and I respect that they are fantastic writers, but in terms of me and what I enjoy reading and spending my time on, not really my thing. And the last one is, the saying goes that the book is always better than the movie. What movie or TV series is better than the book? So, Game of Thrones, because it cuts out the boring stuff. Lord of the Rings, same reason. Although a lot of people complain about the fact that Tom Bombadil was cut out of the Lord of the Rings movies, but I kind of see why. He doesn't really have that much of a purpose. The other one that I think I might have enjoyed more than the book was actually Stardust, which feels blasphemous even to me saying, because Neil Gaiman's my favorite author. There are aspects of the movie that I just really loved that you don't get the full sense of in the book. I just thought they did such a good job with the movie. They're both good, for different reasons. I love the book and I love the movie, but if you gave me the option to reread the book or watch the movie again, I think I'd watch the movie. And that is the unpopular opinions tag. Please don't comment below that I've offended you forever because I don't like one of your favorite books. You know, the world is a beautiful place because we all have such different opinions. That's what makes the world a beautiful place. Don't at me. As always, there are so many books and so little time, so I'm gonna go read and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!